Hello and welcome back to Lorehammer. I'm your host, Mark. For 200 episodes I've been with you. Wow, what a hell of a time. We also got our dear friend, Christian. Welcome.
Hell of a time is the appropriate description. Yes.
Yeah, it's not been fun for anyone. We also got another OG member. We got Jordan right back from the very first episode. Welcome, man.
Hey, yo. And sorry you guys have had to spend 200 episodes doing this.
Yeah. I don't know how you've been dodging some of them while still getting paid. I don't know, but I got to figure that one out too. We also got Gerald. Hey, new to the crew, but good friend. Glad to have you on the 200th.
I don't know what I'm doing right for y'all to tolerate listening to me for 3 episodes straight. So
yeah.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Welcome to my life. 3 a week. It really gets exciting, you know? It's like, what else could we talk about? This episode's going to be pretty chill, honestly. We're just hanging out. Like, this is our 200th episode. It's exciting. I thought about what to do, but I think we're just going to talk. I barely even have notes. So it's going to be a fun episode. But before we get into it, we'll just do some quick housekeeping as normal.
Lorehammer has merch. As you can tell behind Mark's lovely face is a nice little flag, poster, banner thingamajig. So go on to Redbubble if you would like any Lorehammer merch. Good
Jordan
stuff all
even
around.
got something behind him too.
Oh, yeah.
And we know Christian's wearing his Speedo always. He never takes it off.
No.
Mm-hmm.
His Lorehammer Speedo, yeah.
Yes.
I just have to buy new ones when it starts getting holes in it. So I've got I'm 3 or 4 layers deep.
Jeez.
Yeah. Liber Malleus veterans.
Oh, yeah. We also got Liber Malleus veterans. If you want to join the Liber Malleus, the exclusive Lorehammer chapter, not the only Lorehammer chapter, but it is the exclusive one. All the greats go there. You can join the Liber Malleus. You can look, there's links in the description below how you can get involved, buy an Astartes, support the show. I have orders arriving pretty quick. I think they should be here next week, which is super exciting. I ordered like all the Chaos Terminators, which is like 35 of them. So super hyped. So come join, support the show that way.
Yeah, and if you also want to continue to support the show in other ways, you can always join the Patreon. You can join the Imperial Tithe and support the show, ad-free versions of the show for only $2.50, or you can get video versions for $5. I don't have anything witty to add to that line. Usually there's a little something we can tag on there, but by now, 200 episodes we've been saying this.
Yeah.
You're not on board yet. You're on board now. The Emperor needs you.
And if you are a member of the Patreon, you can also join the live stream. And of course, you can always join me for Warhammer and Diet Coke.
Diet Coke.
No whiskey tonight, boys. Sorry. You can't do it.
You should be celebrating, Jordan.
I know.
You need to bust out the finest alcohol you own.
Just wasn't feeling it tonight. I was feeling more like some.
You're still too hungover from the last night.
Yeah, exactly. But you could also you can hop in on the live chat during the show, and we also do call-in guests at the end of the show. Today is the exception because I think Mark opened the floodgates to all the degens out there to allow them into the chat. But that's just for the 200th episode. Every other episode you gotta pay.
Please. All right. Well, housekeeping out of the way. Fuck all that noise. You can stop pressing 30 seconds now on your phone. So, man, it's been a hell of a year. We relaunched Lorehammer after taking, we did 100 years or 100 episodes, and it took us like 6 years. We will go 100 years. Don't worry about that. But it took us like 6 years or something to do 100 episodes. And we relaunched June 5th, 2024. Which is basically a year ago, a couple days over. And we've done 100 main episodes. I've did the 5 episodes of the Dad Hammer, hoping to do some more. We did 17 bonus episodes, including those banger Chaos Unbound episodes we did last night that were just, really good. We did the battery bust. That was fun. Thanks everyone for tolerating me on my island adventure of no power there. Those were also kind of interesting and just nice to catch up with everyone. We did a Stone and Steel RPG where we played as some Leagues of Votans going and finding the Ghost Forge. We never did finish, but maybe we'll do one or another one in the future. We also did 3 different interviews with some pretty big people. Rick Priestley, Jervis Johnson, Alessio Cavator. Pretty wild. Like, Chris, did you ever think we'd be talking to those people, man? Like,
Oh man, yeah, that's honestly like I'm the biggest fanboy for Rick Priestley's stuff. Just remember, like, you see their names and codexes, and you see pictures of them in like White Dwarves, and you'd never think you'd ever get to talk to people like that. But
yeah. We cut up some clips there to put on TikTok or YouTube. I'm not sure where, but the Rick Priestley clips, they did by far the best we've ever done for that type of thing. So it's pretty interesting. People really like those interviews. Just digging into the mind of those old souls is so fun.
yeah, the people that made Warhammer what it is.
Yeah.
None of them.
Like,
The funny thing is, none of them want to take credit for it. Like, oh no, it was a group effort that they all keep saying. But like,
yeah.
But
somebody has to be the leader. Somebody has
Yeah.
to be. Somebody
So-
there is the emperor.
So who, in your estimation, like was the driving intellectual force behind that?
I'd say Rick was probably like the foundational person. If he didn't come up with everything, he came up with enough of it that other people could build on. But I think a lot of the biggest ideas probably came from him. And
Yeah.
that's just me. I'm just saying that. But
Yeah.
Fair.
I have reached out to other people. In the future, I would love to interview Matt Ward, and I won't shit on him if he's listening. I owe you an apology, Matt Ward. You
We all
are
do.
amazing at writing lore compared to what's happening nowadays. Like,
yeah. Yes.
yeah. So I would love to chat him up. And the other one would be John Blanche, but he's really old and I don't think he does this kind of stuff. But, there's always hope, since I've kind of got a couple of his homies there, that maybe one of them will put in that good word for us.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to talk to John. The
Really cool.
the artistic vision of 40K for sure.
Yeah. I forget his name. Reboot Gilliman in the Discord. That's his tag or whatever. He is in a painting contest with Duncan Road. Like, Duncan Rhodes is hosting a painting contest. And apparently he's like in second place, potentially maybe first place. And the winner of that gets a 1-hour hangout with
Mr.
whatever
Rhodes.
Mr. Rhodes. Yeah, Sir Rhodes. And he said he's going to try to pass that on to us if he gets that prize. So that'd be pretty sweet. But
That'd be sick. Yeah.
now-
There's a lot
now
of
that I've
Warhammer
said it on-
nowadays.
yeah, there is, man. It's funny. I have been invited on podcasts as a minor celebrity, which I always think is the silliest fucking thing. But I've been on 7 different podcasts this year. It was a lot of fun, doing different shows. Some of them were really in my wheelhouse. A couple of them weren't at all, but they're all fun nonetheless. I think one of my favorite ones I did, though, was it was actually on Court's podcast, Funkatronic Rex. And it's the first time I met him. And, I get an email from him just saying, hey, really like the show. You guys are awesome, whatever. I'd love to have you on. Not expecting to get that message. And I'm like, yeah, Trevor Buzak will show up. And he did. And he loved it. And then he joined Lorehammer. And that was fucking sweet.
Pulled the reversal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I stole him away. You're mine now. But yeah, it's been one hell of a year, really. Like, that's a lot of different content and episodes and just talking about 40K. And I'm still like, yeah, I'm good to go. People are saying, wire me up for 100 years in Lorehammer. I'm ready.
Joke's on them. This is the last episode.
Sorry, boys.
saying
I got to
this
do some more tax evasion. Adios.
So you're saying this is your last appearance, Christian? Again.
For the 200th last time, yes.
Going through a catalog of what we've done, man, there's been some bangers. Coming back, we started off strong going with Thunder Warriors. We kind of came off the Emperor when we left, and then we started with the Thunder Warriors and the Malkador, and we did that whole old Terra series. Super cool. I remember that, just like, I was so hyped to be doing Lorehammer again. Like, yeah, sure, I'm talking to Chris and James, and I'm getting James complaints every other day. But man, I was talking about such cool things. It was awesome.
Yeah, man, I can't believe it's already been a year, to be honest with you. Hasn't even
Yeah.
felt that long.
Yeah, you can get up to a lot. Then we kind of went on to some random characters. People ask me how I organize episodes, and I try to space it out all pretty evenly. You know, do some Xeno stuff, hit on every faction, do an Imperial. I think where it started getting interesting again was when we did some Leagues of Votan stuff, and I was in Calgary when we did it, and that was pretty fun too. Where, just being back in the studio with you boys after a couple episodes of Not is super fun.
Yeah, and I think the Votan were new, like completely new to us, even as it like they came out while the show was on a hiatus. So
yeah. So we never talked about them. Like in I think one of our episode 90s, like in that range, we did a squat episode, never thinking that we would get Leagues of Votan, and we came up with some great theories on that episode. I forget them now, but I remember me and you, Chris, just going hard on those squat theories.
I still like my
what they
ideas
could
better than
be.
what they did, but
Yeah.
I'm a little biased.
They do have some cool things though with squats. Like I love the concept of just like no waste in the void. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Carrying through, man. I'm just scrolling through the 100 episodes. Those Dad Hammer episodes, they were so fun. It was cool getting Gerald on too, doing some voice acting with you, your orc.
Well, thank you kindly, sir.
Yeah.
Can I get a massive war in the chat?
Yeah, I just love the wog you did when you get sucked out of like the ship, just it's like fade out, everything's so perfect.
Let's
I
see
know
if I can recreate that. Let me see if I can recreate that. You ain't seen the last of me. Whoa!
Yeah, that's perfect. I know a lot of our audience has kind of aged with us. You know, when we started, we were all kind of 25, and now we're almost 10 years later. Almost, you know, we have kids and all that kind of fun stuff. And with our audience aging with us and them having kids, I think those really kind of helped. I don't know, helped if it's not maybe the right word, but we're appreciated for passing on kind of how do you get your kids into it very lightly without being too grim dark. Or yeah, it was fun. Loved it.
Yeah, I was gonna make that same observation. Like in the time of Lorehammer coming back, like you became a father, which is a pretty huge milestone. You know, I'm on my 10th kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan's got his
You're the
own
one trying to
druid.
recreate the Primarchs.
10 more to go.
You can do it, buddy. Yeah. I think my favorite Dad Hammer episode though was the Living Leaves episode where basically we're walking through the garden, and yeah, I just was one of those kids that just destroyed every plant I see, and now I'm out in the jungle just macheting vines, fighting off monkeys. It's fucking tight. It's right where I need to be. It's the exact opposite of Living Leaves. Fuck this tree. We carry on. You know, we did some Space Marine stuff, our biteys. Yeah, there's some fun stuff.
You know, arguably we haven't done enough Space Marine stuff.
Man, but we've done all we're doing all the Primarchs and their legions. Is that not enough? Are you guys not satisfied with that?
No. Space Marines have to take up at least 80% of any Warhammer content produced.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
That
what
seems
am I
about
doing?
the right ratio, though,
Yeah.
compared to
Yep.
what the actual Games
guys are
Workshop
sick.
gives you.
Yeah.
You're sick. Twisted. And how much of that content has to be Primaris Space Marines, huh?
I'm actually partial to doing like more of a split between maybe like a 50-50 between the Imperium and Xenos, but that's just me. I like the Xenos topics a little more.
Yeah, they're just so interesting and so random and varied. You know, we just went through all the minor Xenos and kind of did a second glance over. We finished that right before this episode, actually. They were so cool. They kind of make me want to go to all those minor Xenos and only have one or two sentences and see what I can kind of come up with. Do some like homebrew lore for them.
Yeah.
Carrying on, man. I'm going through the episodes and like I remember kind of sometimes who was on the episodes. I just went past the Bellicor episode where I did with man, I forget his name. I think it's just Herjager, but that might be wrong. And he's a German guy, and he's got the biggest German 40K podcast, and a lot of fun just hanging out with him and chatting 40K. We also had Young Jax on that episode too, and he fit in just nicely. The one German guy's drinking beer. I'm making sexual harassment jokes. It's just a perfect episode.
Aren't you a German guy yourself, Mark?
No. My grandparents were. I'm a Pan-Canadian, if anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Now, the Germans are fucking retarded. I don't like the Germans. They're too clean. They're too strict. Can you imagine me having to abide by like laws and like put on shirts and be polite in society? That's not me, man.
Yeah.
Nah, we don't want that. Yeah, tons of different people on. I wish, if anyone ever wanted to do a free favor for Lorehammer, just count up all the different guests, get a tally of everyone. I think I know who's been on the most, and I definitely know some guests I'd like to get on some more, but that'd be cool to see how many different people. We were talking before the show there, Gerald, how me and you met, and our first episode was you said 98 of Lorehammer Listener Lore.
Of Listener Lore, yeah. Yep. I was just a random nobody that just wanted to submit my lore because I had gotten into the setting partially, mostly because of y'all, but also because of Bricky. Got to give credit where credit's due. My entry into the hobby is a very strange one. I didn't quite give the full thing when I mentioned it like on Tuesday's episode. But
tell me more. Yeah, you dropped. Okay. Yeah, I got into it because of Black Templar and furries, and we questioned you on that one. What were you searching to get there? Like, because you didn't know what Black Templars were, so were you searching furry stuff? Like,
no, just absolutely not.
You can't prove it. You can't deny it. It's whatever.
Well, where do I start? Okay, this is during the pandemic. I am fresh off of a divorce. So I've got my own house, all that stuff. And I was just kind of at a point of like trying to find some fulfillment. I don't know, maybe like a purpose or something. And I was visiting a buddy of mine, and he was a fan of like the Flash Gets channel that does like all the parody cartoons or whatnot. And he pulled up the Furry Crusade, which is the Black Templars versus the furries. Hilarious series for anyone that hasn't seen it. Look it up. It's good. And I thought, this looks vaguely familiar because like I was aware of 40K like existing because in high school I was on like a Star Wars Facebook page, and I was talking about, what if the Star Wars setting versus the what if the Star Wars setting when it gets the Halo universe or whatnot. And then there was that one Warhammer guy that was just like Imperium all the way.
Always is.
All day.
Exactly. So I was aware of it. And then my buddy who showed me that Flash Gets video, and something just clicked with me. I'm like, those guys look familiar. And I've been hearing stuff about Warhammer before. Because I think because the lockdown really ignited something in people for, because we can't leave home and all that stuff unless, you're an essential worker. Yeah. But so I thought, okay, I'll give this Warhammer thing a try and see what it's all about. And then one thing led to another. I found Bricky's Every Faction Explained in a Nutshell YouTube episode. I thought, okay, this is looking pretty cool. Where can I find more information on this stuff? So then I started looking up random podcasts about it on my commutes to work or whatnot, and then that's how I came across Lorehammer. And that was May or June of 2020, and then I've just been following it, ever since. And then I figured I can do something with this, and so I wanted to do like a custom chess set. So I thought, what if I got some Warhammer minis, painted them up like a chess set? And so then I was listening to Lorehammer, getting into the lore so I could make sure what I was doing was quote unquote lore accurate. And then
so like you had like a queen who is like Abaddon the spoiler, the king is the emperor. Like how did you do this?
It was a custodian. Custodia Warden as the king, a Sororitas Seraphim as the queen. The knights were Space Marines. The rooks were Skitari, and then the pawns were Imperial Guard. So
On both
And I
sides,
think
like white and black.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I was listening to y'all's very first listener lore episode. And so I thought, well, I can make a story about this because that's the whole point of the hobby, right? And so I figured, well, why would they act like chess pieces? So then I turned it into a Chaos Zinch story with a Zinch demon taking up all these souls and just like making them play chess, like basically wizards chess against each other. I thought it's the most ridiculous, stupid fucking thing. And then when I found out that Lorehammer had ended, but then Mark started up listener lore, I figured, well, here's my chance.
Get in there. Yeah, no, I remember liking that lore a lot. Like, it was such a fun idea of just like, you know, a greater Chinchian demon just toying with these souls. And you're one of these random souls, and you don't want to have to march across and like march to your death. You know, you're going to land on a square that kills you intentionally. Like, fuck. But that'd be life. Yeah, that was a great episode, man. We have become good friends. Like, I was doing a podcast with my wife there called Pillow Talk with Mark and B for a while. We ended it when I had a kid, but you even joined us on that show quite a few times. And we were reading different, we read some C.S. Lewis apologetic stuff. I forget what book that was. We read a couple different things together, which was always quite interesting having you on and just kind of learning.
Trying to think. It was Screw Tape Letters was one.
Yeah.
And there was some, wasn't a self-help book. It was the body.
Oh, the body keeps the score.
That's what it was.
A couple fun ones. Yeah. It's just been fun. One of my favorite things about podcasting has just been meeting all the people. And like me and you were saying, Christian, earlier, like we met Rick Priestley, like what the fuck? But we also met Gerald. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I was always kind of iffy about meeting randoms, for lack of a better word. But Mark was always very much like, yeah, no, like
come on, he just does a little meth.
Inviting people to the country, to his house. But we made a lot of great friends through the podcast, like in person, in real life, which is crazy.
Yeah. We had James pop in on the bonus episode last night, just calling in, and we didn't really meet him through Lorehammer, but that was definitely our primary interaction with him. Like we kind of, we clicked for sure. And then we were playing tabletop and all that stuff too, but always a fun guest. Good to see him again.
Yeah, even a few months ago, I met, because I always go down to Arizona at least once a year with my family. And I went and hung out with Court down there.
Yeah.
Which is fun. I'm all for it, connecting with people, building relationships in the community, through the podcast. It's fun.
We got some comments in the chat here. They're going wild. We've never had this many people in the chat room tonight. Pretty cool.
Yeah, the chat is going off.
Here's one just right off the top. Whatever happened to Dylan, the Australian, by the way? I think he's still in the frozen north as far as I reckon. Last time I was up there, I did see him. So I did see him like 9 months ago, but he's doing well. I'll try to get him on again.
Is he still in Calgary?
Yeah, he's still in Calgary.
Okay.
Lots of people, like, we were saying earlier, just how people have been growing and having kids or just getting the next step of their career, just whatever, as the older you get, the busier you get. And a lot of those old crew kind of just fell into that super busy category, unfortunately. People were hoping for a surprise appearance of Eric tonight, but unfortunately, I killed him, ate his corpse, fled the country. I don't know how many times I have to say this.
No one believes you when you keep
No one
admitting
believes me. I was trying to be all crude-esque. I'm like, come on, if they can do it, I can do it. I'm going to absorb his powers and become the main host.
Then you could be the only host.
Yeah. Like, it happened, but I wasn't any good at it. I didn't get any of his powers. I just got the spots. Now I stumble over my words and try to lead it.
And your hair turned red.
God,
Just
that was the worst part. That's also funny. People in the chat are talking about just looking at us for the first time since there's a bunch of new people. And we always get those comments where it's like, I did not expect Jordan to look like that or whatever.
Yeah, that's like the number one comment when people go from audio to video. They're like, oh, you don't look like the way I thought you looked. It has been said so many times.
I don't know
What
if that's
did
a
you
good
picture?
thing or a bad thing, though. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I know. I don't go further with it because I don't want my feelings hurt. But
Yeah.
That makes 3 of us.
When we first started recording, I was like 90 pounds heavier. And I go back and look and I just make fun of Fat Mark. And it's fun to do. I get some sick satisfaction out of it. And then I go do some push-ups.
Now you're a third world child who is starving.
Yeah. No, it's not a workout bod. It's a famine bod. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of. Yeah. I'm just reading some more comments.
Ew.
Oh boy.
Nice. Jordan is a sexy beast. Yeah, man. There's a couple people. If I was gay, look out. Bunch of freaking cuties. Yeah.
Oh no, Toasty's in the chat.
So we did the Primarch series, or starting it. You know, where next one is Blood Angels. Episode 201 is going to be Sanguinius and his little series. Have you guys had a favorite Primarch that we've done so far? Maybe the one that turned around for you, or
I wouldn't say I've changed opinions, but Fulgrim and the Lion are up there for me. But they've always been up there. So it's very difficult to change my opinion on things. I make up my mind and I stick to it, even if I'm wrong.
it happens sometimes. I think you're not as wrong as people think you are. I don't know why people hate you so much, Christian. I don't know why.
Yeah, neither do I. I wish I knew too. But, maybe I'm like a blank and it's just natural.
Hey, that's okay. That's a good segue. I was listening to this fucking podcast today. It was Tim Pool Culture Wars. The episode was exposing secret government tech, UFOs, and teleportation.
Ooh, I'm gonna like this topic.
Yeah, man. So the warp's real in real life. So you could be a blank, essentially. You know, I'm not a scientist. You've heard me ramble through nonsense many times before, but let me ramble through what I've kind of gathered so far. Basically, electromagnetism is just gravity, and you can do all types of crazy things with it. We have 0-point energy, which is basically just electromagnetism, where you tap in. I'm not a fucking scientist. I don't know. Go listen to the podcast. But they're also talking about the ether and how the whole universe is in this like almost like viscous, just like jelly, like, you know, where gravity's not keeping us everywhere. It's this electromagnetic fields that are kind of keeping us anywhere. Because their prime example basically was when Earth goes past Saturn. Saturn's bigger, has bigger gravity. Saturn should, in theory, pull Earth towards it a little bit every time, but it doesn't. We're stuck in this viscous thing where, anyways, go listen to it. It was really crazy. Just them talking about this ether and how it's this energy that you can get 0-point energy from, this like alternate reality, man, or whatever they're saying. Like, I'm like, are these fuckers describing the warp right now?
So there has been like that. This is actually probably going back decades, but there's been conspiracies, conjecture that the government, particularly the U.S. government, has had access to 0-point energy. And if they did, it's like, in terms of weaponization, it's game over. They dominate the entire world. No one can do anything about it. You're done. You can't, unless you have a 0-point energy yourself. Whoever can basically control 0-point energy controls the whole planet, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. And it's because it's basically free energy, right? Like, it's energy too cheap to meter. It would be there would be like essentially no limit with the exception of like the actual raw materials you need to build things, but there's no limit to the actual energy that you have access to.
Yeah, but then they're even saying if you can get enough energy, you can, alchemy is a real thing. You can essentially make Star Trek replicators if you have enough fucking energy. Like, this all sounds crazy. Christian's scoffing at me over there.
Oh, I'm
I
scoffing.
now
at it.
know why they
I
hate you.
can't scoff any harder.
I mean, I don't know. I think I will say there is something to be said about the sort of UFO UAP phenomena, which I think is a real phenomena. I think the question is, what is that phenomena? Like, what is it ontologically? I don't think anyone really has a good, or I've heard a great answer. And I've delved into this topic and read many books on the topic as well. So, but yeah, it is like, if one theory is that like these UAPs could just be our own tech using 0 point energy, and that's and they're just like psyoping us into believing that it's just aliens, right? And kind of tricking us so that we sort of like go down the wrong rabbit hole, if you will, and it kind of distracts us from what they're really doing. And if the government did have some kind of technology like that, it actually probably would be in their best interest to keep it as secret as possible.
Yeah, and like you can't let the masses have it. Like you can't let someone like me, have access to 0 point energy. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, the implications would be pretty far reaching and pretty hard for like society to grapple with. So
yeah.
As the American of the four of us, I can guarantee y'all got nothing to worry about. We're too busy ripping ourselves in half right now with all the historical events that are going on, courtesy of Seth. So y'all are okay.
Yeah. Well, not when Canada goes full communist and then America has to go liberate Canada. They're one step away.
Yeah, spread freedom and democracy to Ottawa. Please,
well,
God.
just Alberta, really.
Yeah.
I might move back even then. If that's not enough to motivate America to invade Alberta, I don't know what is. But...
I mean, quote Jack Carnes in the chat. America, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I loved, not that comment. I loved that one comment from Vengeful Toasty. Sounds like a bunch of a-holes who can read to me. Oh, man.
Just because the butcher's nails are digging into your brain, Toasty. Come on, give the rest of us guys that can read a break.
Yeah. Let's go around the table. What have you guys kind of liked about podcasting, learned from podcasting? Like for me, example is I've learned to read. Like obviously I could always read in my head, but reading out loud I've really improved a lot on. Like that's been very beneficial just even in my day-to-day life. What kind of things have you guys liked or learned or kind of grown with? I don't know. Let's start with Christian.
Sound like you're about to talk.
Don't ever go all at once.
Formulating my thoughts. Yeah, I like podcasting. I want to do more of it. As everyone knows, I try to start a new show every week.
From Pokemon to Digimon.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about out there. I think it's just I get hyper obsessive over topics and I just want to talk about them.
Do you like trying to like relate it to real life and get lessons out of it, or like
I wouldn't say lessons.
Is it like academic, or
yeah, like I do approach it from that kind of perspective where like I like to draw real world comparisons. So like what historical influences might have like the author incorporated into their fictional work. I do that a bit with the Pokemon stuff. Like, why does this Pokemon have these features? Was that like intentional? Is it like just biology? Sometimes there's cultural aspects. Star Wars usually kind of do a little bit of that at the end of our episodes. So yeah, usually it's like a mixing of like the grounding historical influences with whatever fictional work that I'm engaging with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that like so many guys around the world like talking about fantasy things. And I wonder, like, going back into the past, like how like were they all talking about weird stuff like this too to some degree? Or that yeah. We're not that different than ancient humans, you know, humans from 1,000 years ago or
Dude,
whatever.
I say that to people all the time. Freaking, other than for like language and technology barriers,
And
like
culture, but like physically, mentally.
fundamentally, yeah, they're not that different between you and
Yeah.
I. And I think people forget that sometimes. Obviously they're informed by their cultural context, but like their way of reasoning would still be very modern, like not different from modern humans, right? You know,
Yeah.
whether or not they're, you know, they believe that blood sacrifices will bring the next day or not. You could see the progression of logic that might get them to that, even though like that's an absurd conclusion. They still use human rationality to
Yeah.
get there. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of people forget that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've sometimes used Lorehammer as a way to kind of like analyze characters or people, like especially when we're doing the Primarch episodes. Like they're fun character studies for sure. And there's some of them where I get very right and some of them I get very wrong, and I do the episode and you guys all change my opinion on how these people operate and stuff. It's always fun, like kind of breaking down characters. Do it in real life too, although it's a little more awkward to do that to real people that you know, but it can be useful to know how people operate. Like you were saying about just, we're not that different from ancient people. We're not that different from fucking the next door neighbor right now. So try to figure out each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Gerald, what have you liked about podcasts? And you learn anything fun?
Before I answered that, Seth, you just mentioned like us living in historical times. That was it. That was all I was referring to. I wasn't saying that you were personally responsible for anything. Calm down. Calm down.
My brother in Lorehammer. I wasn't even alive during 9/11.
Wow.
Where were
That's
you
not-
during 9/11?
Oh my god.
That actually like still surprises me when I bump into people who either were like too young to remember or weren't even born during 9/11.
That's my benchmark for a year too young.
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man.
That's the first question I ask people. Do you remember 9/11? Yes.
Have you been involved in a terrorist attack? Yes or no?
I just was last week, okay?
All right, you're good then. You're in the good book, George. I can talk to you.
But back to the original question, like as far as podcasting, I'm the newest of like the four of us, but I don't know. I always enjoy the creative outlet side of it. For anyone that's listened to the Grimlore podcast, I do a lot of the editing and producing of that, so including like all the sound effects. So I always thought it would be really, really cool to kind of have like a framing device where it's just like an elf and a dwarf just talking about Warhammer Fantasy in a tavern, and then we have crazy guests on, and then do all kinds of voices and sound effects that go along with it. And I think the joining Lorehammer and especially listener lore was where I got my start. That it's kind of helped with that creative outlet. So I do so I've always found it fun to do the writing like all these stories and stuff, and being able to share it with like a lot of like-minded folks, and just getting a bunch of crazy stuff. So that was always great. So thank you guys so much for letting me be a part of this.
No worries, man. Like the creative outlook, I think that's kind of happened for us all in one way or another, whether you're painting models, writing, or even just daydreaming about 40K. That creative outlook, it's so important, man. It's just so funny that guys need hobbies, and like I try to show my wife these minis and she's not rude about it, but she couldn't give a fuck. But yeah, show some people, show my Panamanian neighbor dude some Warhammer. He's like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. What the hell is that? He doesn't even have electricity, but he likes Warhammer now. Like, okay.
Is there a like Games Workshop in Panama City?
They have a hobby shop. I haven't been to it.
Yeah.
And they might sell some 40K stuff, but I'm not totally sure.
Yeah,
I know when I moved down here, Christian's like, you could corner the market. You could be the GW. And he was trying to get me to I don't know. I don't know if he thinks I'm rich or something. I don't know why he thought I could open a whole.
No, you could
corporation
have
now.
been rich if you ran the only
Oh.
GW in South America.
I could
but
have been.
You wasted the opportunity.
Like an
Just you
idiot.
standing on top of just you standing on top of a building. It's like, it is over. I am the Warhammer 40,000.
But in Spanish, I would say that.
Yes.
Yeah.
BS Warhammer 40. I don't even know what 40,000 is in Spanish.
Jordan, how about you?
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of the same, like creative outlet. I've really enjoyed it. You know, when my first podcast I ever did was with Lorehammer, and in 2017, is that when we started?
I think
2017?
so, man. Yeah.
Yeah, which you know, back then I thought we were like way too late to the game. I thought we were like, oh man, there's so many podcasts out now, and you know, since then, and especially since like COVID, everyone and their mother started a podcast, so it was like super saturated. But no, yeah, I still like love the whole podcasting idea. Just in terms of it's sort of this great equalizer where only very few companies had sort of control over the talk radio space. And everything was sort of funneled through that. And now you kind of have the idea of a talk radio just distributed among like through the whole world and niched down into like all sorts of topics that could just any topic that you are interested in, you can find like
just so niche. Even you're like,
Yeah.
I really like Bulgarian wood carving, and you
Yeah.
find this guy who's just all about it.
Yeah, and I think I mean, yeah, and YouTube too to some extent as well. But I think it's like and obviously there's a lot of slop out there. I won't lie, like there's a lot of just garbage podcasting, but I do think that it's good for humanity overall, just like that sharing of information and that building of community. It is like something we never could have done before without it. And I think it's like I think it's hard to most people don't appreciate how big of a deal it is, and like how the world has just changed because of these kind of technologies and something like podcasting in particular. So I think it's awesome to be in my own little tiny way to be involved in something like that.
Yeah. When we first kind of approached the idea, it was me, Christian, Eric, and then we kind of approached you about it because you had some microphones, so we were using you. But also you were kind of
You
you
also
had
had
some microphones.
a nice body we wanted to use too.
Yeah. So yeah, and you were kind of interested in the production side of things, like editing and stuff. So that was kind of how you got on the Lorehammer side of things. But yeah, it's been super fun, man. Like it's crazy how many episodes we've done, just different things.
Yeah, and I would even say to people, like, I almost say the more the merrier. You may not be like a massa. If you want to start your own podcast, you may never be like a huge, massive Joe Rogan podcast and make a living off of it. But if you have like a little niche or a unique idea, the more the merrier. Like start it up and just like at least it helps you like formulate your ideas and thoughts, and you can kind of make a little catalog out of that and start a podcast. The barrier to entry is so low,
Yeah.
So
Categorizing your thoughts is like, that's super important. Like podcasting helps for that so much. Even if you're not like doing like personal things, but just like just writing notes. I write a lot of notes, and that's so beneficial. Now I can kind of do other things, write a little here, write a little there. Yeah, podcasting is so good in just so many different ways.
And it opens up the avenue for just like meeting other like-minded people. Just like, I know in my hometown and where I live, not many people know or understand or care to know about Warhammer. And yet here I am talking with you guys, and like, Lord knows how many people I've spoken to and messaged in the Discord since I joined back in 22, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a really cool thing.
love it. So we've all liked it. We all plan on doing it for many years to come. Lorehammer's pretty wild. I don't talk about the numbers too often. I don't look anymore. I try to do my business side of things, and then I don't look at numbers because it's fucked. But Lorehammer is pretty consistent in the top 1% of podcasts in the world. Now, there is a huge difference between me and Joe Rogan, but we are in that download category of the top 1%. Not every month we hit that, but we usually do, which is pretty fucking wild. Like, I just remember starting and be like, 100 people, we can do it. That would be wild. I'd do this for the rest of my life if 100 people listened to me and talked to me about Warhammer.
Yeah, it is. In terms of like perspective on to be in the top 5% of podcasts actually isn't that hard to do. Yeah, like you really, I don't know, you probably only need 5,000 downloads a month to be in the top 5%.
Yeah, like
of all podcasts.
Yeah, the scale is what do you call it when it like it's very dramatic. It's
exponential.
But then when you go to like the top 1% of podcasts, that's like at least 10 times more than if you're in the top 5%. And then if you get into the top 0.1% of podcasts, then that's another 10x more. Like it's kind of crazy how much it like that hockey stick curve goes up in terms of statistics. But
I like saying the 1% because it sounds good, but then once you know the numbers, it's like
oh yeah, I tell that with people with my podcast, but it shows you like there's an audience for what you do, you know, like if you're committed and you're willing to get a little bit better over time, that pays off dividends. And if you're if you have some value to offer to people, then you know they'll listen. There's an audience for you out there, right? So
yeah.
Thanks, Jordan. You
As
just
long-
encouraged me to start my furry lore podcast.
Start your 5th podcast.
My furry lore podcast.
Oh man. But yeah, to kind of piggyback off that, like as long as you're passionate about it and you're in it to have a good time and actually like build a community off of it. I think Mark had mentioned, either Mark or Christian, y'all had mentioned this in like one of the original 100 Lorehammer episodes. Like if you build it, they will come. Like simple as.
Somebody will.
Simple as.
To be fair, I was probably the most skeptical of all of us about doing this to begin with. I was told, because Mark was always pushing me to do this, and I was like, dude, no one cares what you have to say about Warhammer. Like, it's fun for us to discuss it, but nobody else wants to hear about your dumb opinions.
Yeah, we're just sitting in the cold, frozen garage, just like, come on, buddy, please.
Yeah, and not just Mark's dumb opinions. I mean, both of us, all our dumb opinions about Warhammer, but clearly I was wrong.
Yeah, well, maybe it's the dumb opinions that people like, though. It's like, well, maybe I'm not so dumb, the listeners think, you know? Yeah, it's been fun. Well, let's move on to the next little section. I have some awards to give out to some people. If you are in the chat right now, there's a bunch of you in there. This is definitely the time to interact. I'm not going to announce the winners right away. I'll, give you guys a minute to kind of put your answers in the chat. So I'll announce the category. You guys can all respond. I'll give my answer. The other boys can give an answer if they want. And then, we'll read off some of your guys and kind of go through these. Starting with the first one. It's called the biggest host contributor. And you have to X-name me from this category. And basically, who do you guys think has helped out Lorehammer been? And by that, I mean been on the most episodes, is probably the most help. Who do you think's been on the most? So you guys can put that in the chat. And while we're waiting, I'll ask a question to you boys. Was there ever a moment when you consider... Sorry, Jordan, go for it.
No, go ahead.
Was there ever a moment you guys considered ending or leaving the podcast? And what kind of kept you coming back? Every time I message you, what keeps you coming back?
The fact that my restraining orders don't work in Panama.
Yeah, can't stop the messages.
Yeah.
And it's just easier to give in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gone for a little while and made occasional visits, but I had work and life and had a kid and stuff. So
There was a while you were in Texas too for a bit.
yeah, I left for Texas. So just kind of life.
Yeah.
But hey, Mark kicked it back up again, so I was like, hey, let's jump back in.
Cracks knuckles.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting some answers in the chat here, so I'll read them off. They're saying definitely Jordan, Christian, lots of Jordan. So yeah, that's between you two for sure.
Yeah.
On air Christian, behind the scenes Jordan. Interesting. Jordan's another one. I think Jordan for being more of a rock. Christian has too many projects to focus on.
He's not wrong.
Hasn't Christian probably next to you, Mark? Like Christian's probably been on the most episodes, has he not?
Yeah, and that is the correct answer. Christian is definitely the biggest host contributor. Although the chat's right, Jordan. You edited probably 100 episodes by now. You edited the first 50 easily, and then you're back editing it a little bit, and you've been very helpful for doing some back end. And like when we first started, we didn't know what we were doing, so me and Eric were basically just like, Jordan's got it. Fuck it. We'll write the notes. Jordan's got every other aspect. And it worked out very nice for us.
Yeah, I hope so. I have to go back and listen. Not so confident.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's wild. To think how many episodes, Christian, you've been on. And every time you just fucking lie to us. Last time.
I swear, guys, it's not for real. One day it will be real and people will be sad.
Yeah, but people in the chat are saying not till episode 40,000 of Lorehammer can I retire. So I think that's appropriate. I think that's fitting.
Yeah,
hopefully they'll come up with Dreadnought technology by that point.
Yeah. The next one, funniest bit of the last year. You guys could post in the chat what you guys kind of just jumped out, had you howling out of your seat. Lorehammer, we try to be informational at first, but we also like to crack dick jokes. So did you
I'll say the funniest bit was unfortunately we had to edit it out because it was uncouth and advertisers would not like it. So
oh, man. Private chat it, or in the private chat write it, because I might.
About, I'll say domestic abuse. It was a domestic abuse joke.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, it's funny.
And I thought it was pretty funny, but unfortunately.
We're all like happily married men with children. Like we're not out there beating wives. That's what makes it funny. Because like the thought of Christian hitting a woman, the only meat he beats is his own. Like, come on.
Yeah, because his wife won't do that.
Yeah,
she doesn't want to do that shit.
We got some funny moments in the chat. We got Pissgate / the Vespid, where basically their planet smells like ammonia, so it's just piss everywhere. Piss.
Oh man,
pissing aliens. Yeah, a couple people. Vengeful Tootsie likes making Gerald uncomfy.
Yes, he does. Oh, and so does Bobby Jack, and now Looper Cow, Big Joe G, Mark.
Yeah, it's a running trend. Ursat says teeth. Shirley Court in his teeth.
Yep.
Oh,
I was gonna add. Finding out about Court's obsession with teeth.
Oh man, Jizz Hands, yeah, but Jizz Hands was old school, man. Yeah, a couple. Me and Eric screaming at each other.
It's a classic, yeah.
Yeah. I miss screaming at Eric, but also, man, who wants to fucking yell at another guy all day long? Like, oh my god. Can't we just get along? I'm too old for that shit now. Back when I was a rambunctious 25-year-old or whatever, sure, that was fun, but now I'm like, let's just try to see if we can get Jordan drunk and make him make a wife-beating joke. Is kind of the goal now.
Yes.
The bad segues. People like the bad segues. That's bizarre. I don't know. I think for me, not my funniest bit, but the funniest bit was Court's teeth bit, man. It just so fucking unexpected, just so out of nowhere. And just on top of everything else that I've been learning about him, it's just been fun getting to know that kooky little character of Court, from the punk emo Christian tattooed kid that he was to the teeth collector that he is now. It's been quite the journey to get to know him. So
Really cool to record with. So
yeah,
looking forward to doing that more.
Chris, anything pop out in your mind of something that will haunt you till you die?
Everything about this experience. No, I don't think this podcast is very funny. I think we take ourselves very seriously, and it would diminish our respectability if we made too many jokes on air.
Yes.
Lest we forget, Warhammer is not funny.
No, 40K is not funny. No, sir. Okay, I got the next category. So congratulations to that category winner. Whoever came up with the fucking Pissgate, who was that, man? You might have won. The chat loved Gerald, my man. Okay, Pissgate Gerald.
Your name will forever be tied to Pissgate.
I know. I'm not sure what to feel about the Lorehammer meme I just started, because I was just reading through the notes on the Vespa and it said ammonia laden atmosphere that is unsuitable for most forms of life. I'm like, yeah, because it smells like piss.
Oh my god!
And that caught the chat going.
Yeah, classic. Okay, I love it. Oh man. Okay, the next category we have is the most improved. I don't know what that could mean. It could be the most. I don't fucking know. Tell us who you think is the most improved and what they improved on. Yeah, if I was to say somebody the most improved would be who I don't know if I have a good one. I think all of us were perfect from the beginning, fearfully and wonderfully made, as they say. And yeah, now here we are.
Christian's backdrop is the most improved.
Okay, that's
It'll only get better from here. I don't know how yet, but it will.
It is a pretty cool backdrop. So
yeah, most improved. I don't know. What do you improve on? Like, yeah, sure.
Was there someone who was like really quiet and timid at first, and then slowly kind of came out of their shell?
Yeah, and like I don't even think so. Like in that regard, like maybe Gerald, when we first started recording, maybe you were a little quiet, but I don't even think you really were. Like you weren't shy or nothing. Like
I was shy and nervous as hell when during our first recording. I'm just like,
because
my mind was like, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up, don't fuck this up, because I hit it really, really well. So then when you messaged me the other like I don't know, like a week later asking me back on, I'm just like, what?
Love it. People are saying Jordan. Yeah, this was a common comment back in the day and still kind of is. We love Jordan, but he doesn't talk enough. But apparently you've been talking more and people always love it when you do. So good for you, Jordan. You've won the most improved. Take it as you will. You can tell your wife, see if you can get lucky tonight.
Sure, will do. I prefer the what someone said. Jordan with his whiskeys is the most improved, which I agree with. Yeah,
I approve of that.
Now, maybe though,
the situation.
Maybe Fuzz is right. Maybe the most improved needs to go to James. I used to get a lot of James complaints, and now empty, quiet. He doesn't show up anymore. No more complaints. And then, believe it or not, he showed up the other night, and we got a complaint saying, "Well, now he's not on enough." So even like.
Nothing can make them happy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, the inbox of James complaints was full, just brimming, and then it kind of died down. So most improved. Good jobs, James. Great work. And the final one. Oh, actually, no, there's two more. The next one, the most hate mail received. So if James isn't getting the hate mail, who the fuck is? It's not me anymore. I used to get a lot of hate mail for saying Space Wolves are faggots. But now I don't say Space Wolves are faggots anymore. So no one has anything to complain about. Who do you guys in the chat think has received the most hate mail?
I don't like read the emails, so I don't even know. Do I want to know? I don't think I want to know.
We want to know. It's super funny. I find it funny as shit. I'll tell you guys, people in the chat, Christian gets the most. Christian. Oh, and now we get to the truth of it. Bobby Jack is pretty cool most of the time. No, Bobby Jack, honestly, I've got the most hate mail ever. They're like, what is this fuck doing? He's just cracking jokes all the time. It's so funny. And here I thought he was a whole heap of a lot of fun, but he's getting hate mail. But I'm going to keep him on because it's fun. I like pissing people off sometimes. It's so funny. Like people message like they message me some nasty thing as if now I'm going to change my life or something. And it's like, you just shit on me and now you want me to change? I don't know. Fuck it.
Yeah. Do you get like, I haven't gotten that. Like we get complaints from on Star Lores. But have you gotten like real visceral, like someone's threatening you or getting...
I personally have got some like threats. Obviously, they're all fake, but like you know, me saying faggot really pisses people off. I get messages about that to this day, and I'm just like, well, don't be a faggot about it. Like, it's not a big deal. It really is not a big deal. Like, if you let somebody else's words hurt you, that's a you problem. You need to get your emotions in check. So. Yeah, you know, lots of hate on that, but also clearly there's a lot of people that like the show. You know, we're like I said, we're in that top 1%. And I've always kind of just been like, when having guests on, you know, there's been some hit or miss, but I'm just like, whoever I kind of am enjoying, if I like you and I enjoy spending time with you, I kind of want to have you on the show. And sometimes like Dylan was another great example of kind of a hit or miss guest where people are either like, I love that Australian, or they say he's way too loud. Like every time he's on, he blows out my eardrums. I don't want to listen to it. But it's like, what do you do, man? What do you do with all these messages? I don't fucking know. You just toss them in the inbox of garbage and move on with your life.
Yeah, there's kind of a point where you can't satisfy everyone, right? Like someone's always going to be pissed about something that you do. So.
Yeah, but Bobby Jack, you can go to sleep knowing that you've got a couple hateful emails in my inbox. So enjoy that thought. But I don't care, man. Like the show, you know, we're just trying to have fun. People take some things too seriously, and who cares? Let's talk about the podcast going forward. Lorehammer can't be stopped. You know, whether people want us to stop or not, I won't. I can't. Can't have it. Won't let it happen. Got to get to 40,000 Lorehammer episodes.
Can't stop. I won't stop. Yeah.
Episodes in the future, we're going to kind of carry on with what we're doing. I got those Primarch series going. I do kind of want to honestly dial down some of my notes and stuff. Like, for example, I kind of write between 20 and 25 pages. Back in the day, we used to only write like a couple. And as the show evolved, and by episode 50 we're writing then 10 pages. By episode 75 we're writing 20 pages. Like it just starts stacking and stacking. But yeah, I kind of almost sometimes want to take the show in a less note direction and a more just kind of free flow, kind of not like this, but we used to have kind of like bullet points and kind of more like that,
Yeah,
a happy medium between scripted and unscripted.
Yeah. Like Star Wars has a interesting way of doing it where you guys script maybe not the full first half, but the first portion is all scripted, and then you go into like a casual conversation, which is pretty fun. You get the kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's about half and half. Like, just a discussion portion and a scripted portion. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's a lot of different podcasts do different things. A lot of podcasts are really good where they are more scripted than you think, but it sounds very natural. Like they've gotten so good at like making it sound like it's very natural, but they really do just about everything they say. They've got it kind of scripted out, or they've got like a real tight roadmap. So, but I don't know. It just depends. It also like what your own personal like abilities are and natural strengths are. You just kind of play to those, I think.
Yep. And it's kind of also like who you're doing this with and like what kind of energy y'all feed off of each other can really make or break it.
Yeah, true.
Even if it is Bobby Jack sexually harassing me.
Make or break it. Yeah. No, and that's the fun thing about Lorehammer. You know, we've had probably like easily over 50 different kind of personalities on, and yeah, every episode kind of gets its own little flavor because of that. Like I was mentioning, that German guy that I was doing it with was so fun, just listening to his German accent and like drinking beer. It's just a fun episode, man. Very, very chill vibe. Yeah, so you know, going forward, we're just gonna keep at it, man. Like let's just go hard. Keep going. Like there's still so much content in 40K. I feel like even after another 100, I've just kind of scratched the surface. Like we still haven't even talked about half the Primarchs yet. Like it's another 100 episodes right there. There's a bunch of cool things I would want. Maybe I should pull up my episode idea list and just read some of those off. I got the cold trade, which is basically kind of rogue traders and trading with aliens and smuggling and underground stuff like that. Cold trading is a pretty cool episode idea. Servitors. You know, we've talked about servitizing me. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can learn how. World spirits. Gerald, when you were doing the Space Wolf episodes, you and Fuzz were talking about world spirits and stuff, and that was so fun, that kind of conversation. Yeah. We have a couple examples. Cool. Yeah, we have a couple examples of them, like Space Wolves. I think the Can as well do similar things. The Exodites kind of have world spirits, kind of similar, kind of different, but a couple different things out there. Music in 40K would be fun. Get Cord on. He can tell us all about different music. Astartes founding. There's like 25 of them that we can do. Citizens and civilians. That was kind of your idea there, Christian. Renegade Astartes. Oh,
I don't know about the citizens one. It could be a fun, more conjecture one. There's just not a lot of information on them, but I got lots of ideas, so we can definitely still touch on it.
People are saying Navy needs a proper episode too. Yeah, I do have on here different battlegrounds, and by that I mean like a water battleground, space. Like, let's talk about all these underground. What's underground warfare like? Are they tunneling? Like, we got some of those types of things. What are the Gears of War bad guys called again? The Horde? No. The Locust.
The Locust.
Yeah, you know, that's a cool kind of civilization underground. All types of different ways to kill Xenos, really. Robots. Have you guys ever gone on like Let's Canem and just seen how many different like robots there are, from Men of Gold to Men of Iron to just androids to there's so many different things out there, man. That'd be a whole handful of episodes.
Not to mention all like the just like the name characters y'all haven't gone over yet. There's so many.
Yeah. I thought about doing some Imperial Armor books too. You could pick up each one of them and do a review. Same with the main tabletop campaign books, like the main rule books. Go through each one of them and like, this is the storyline for this one. We got Dark Eldar versus Templar. What are they up to? What's the Battle of McCraig? Have you ever wondered? Play 4th edition, you know. Yeah, there's a bunch, man. Like, there's a limitless amount, and 40K Games Workshop, they're in like their golden era. You know, they've never been more profitable, and they're pumping out as much as they possibly can, like from fucking little bobbleheads to Joy Toys to video games, animations, all types of shit. It's crazy. Did you guys, like, Christian, did you ever think 40K would be like huge? Like, it's, I don't know if it's quite yet the big thing, but it's getting there.
No, it's definitely gone mainstream for sure, and I'm not happy about it. We've discussed this a few times, how it kind of feels like they've filed down the edge of 40K. Everything's like softer and rounder. I'm speaking very cryptically, but people know what I mean. Just to make it have more mass appeal. So I think there's always a trade-off, right? You lose something about the soul of the game to reach a mainstream audience, but obviously they're making their shareholders happy, so they're going to keep doing what's making them money. But I think we're getting lots of cool stuff too. That what was it, last level episode?
Yeah,
like you were like, remember talking about what a 40K movie could look like, and we're still kind of waiting on a true 40K movie. But there's been so much advancement in even like their little cinematics they drop for like the Horus Heresy, or you know, every edition of Warhammer they do. Like, there's some crazy animation that's come out now where you go back to like that old role-playing game they did with live action video. They've come a long way. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And that stuff comes with the backing of money and audience, right? So again, it's those trade-offs, but we'll see if a true other, you know, we don't count the Ultramarines film, but a true 40K movie would be fantastic.
Yeah. Fuzz has a fun little comment. From the interview with Rick, it sounded like their early decisions were also based on what would and wouldn't sell. They were keeping that tradition. Yeah, like that and it shows, like, so his goal was like, okay, well, we need money. If this business is going to work, we need money. So how do we make it profitable? Well, like, you got to do some things. And like, yeah, they had a good business model that 35 years later is still working for them. Like, and yeah, not every time they sell.
I do wonder though, like, especially with, a lot of the interest expanding, especially with the video games, because I feel like that's one of their biggest successes, are the video games. I wonder if they don't have to focus as much on doing miniatures and tabletop, and they can actually just focus on like building, you know, other more just content creation. I wonder if that is going to continue, that sort of trend, and if like eventually would the tabletop game become more of an afterthought compared to the rest of the property.
Well, yeah, man, it's crazy, like, how often I talk to people and I'm like, so what army do you collect? And they say, what do you mean? I'm like, tabletop. And they're like, what do you mean tabletop? Yeah, I came in through Space Marine 2 or through the Astartes channel or whatever, you know? Yeah, like, at what point does it flip where, the tabletop is just such a minor part of the company that, like, isn't really even, like, supported necessarily because of all the 3D printing and whatever else.
What I think that was the driving decision. They probably, you know, shifted gears back when 3D printing was becoming mainstream, and they're like, they could see the writing on the wall. Not that their miniatures aren't selling still, but, you know, as a long-term strategy, at some point, like, it will become harder and harder to make the miniatures the most profitable aspect. And, you know, with the launch of other successful projects, it's worth their time to invest more in those, right? So I do think it was a strategic decision for them to do that whole mainstreaming, to outsource their IP to, like, there's Monopoly Warhammer now. There's all kinds of like Warhammer spin-off content.
There's Warhammer Chess made by Gerald.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Trademark that idea, Gerald.
Oh man, I'm working on that now.
That's so funny. Apparently GW has been copy striking a bunch of people over the last month. I don't know much about it.
Out in the 3D print space, there was a huge purge recently. I mean, that's always going to happen. It's also kind of ironic since GW is built off of IP theft, but that's another conversation.
And a few years ago, it was
they're just very litigious over their IP.
Yeah, and a few years ago there was like this whole purge against like fan animators, like the guy that did Astartes, which of course they hired him on, to my understanding, and he had a part in the Secret Level episode. But yeah, so like a few years ago it was like fan animators, and then another one was like they were doing the purge for like all the parody videos, like text to speech, if anybody knows about that. So it comes and goes in cycles depending on what exactly you're doing.
Yeah, people have asked like if Lorehammer's ever had any issues with GW, and no, I make them too much money. The amount of emails where it's, Mark, you son of a bitch, I just bought another box set because I listened to that episode. How dare you? Yeah. No, GW, like, we've had some people on from that company, and yeah, like, you can talk about Warhammer, but like you said, you get into making some animation, you get making some minis, then you might get yourself in a pickle.
Yeah,
and that's why we're releasing our official Lorehammer Space Marine. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why.
No,
that's so funny.
Yeah, I think as like even 3D printing is becoming cheaper and cheaper every year. I think that the whole miniature side, they almost may as well just just shift it to like selling blueprints for
Yeah,
people to print
STLs.
themselves. Yeah, like as opposed to like even like they could still sell brick and mortar stuff, but I don't know if it even makes sense. Eventually that's going to be a fight they just cannot win, in my opinion, as a
Well,
in the future.
they wound down a lot of their physical stores. If you go into a lot of GWs nowadays, they always carry like very like
Yeah,
limited stock. You
I
typically have
know.
to order stuff
Yeah,
online. Like,
yeah, they barely have any in a lot of the stores. It's crazy.
yeah,
I went to one in
Mhm.
San Diego and I was like kind of surprised. It was like there's nothing there.
yeah, yeah. They
Yeah.
encourage you to use their portal in
Yeah.
the store. I'm like, I
Yeah,
could just
yeah.
order this online at home. Why am I?
Yeah.
Why do I even have to come here? Yeah, and they did that even as far back as when they like shut down the battle bunkers they used to run. Right, like they used to encourage
Yeah.
people to be in a store all day playing games, and
Right.
they become
Yeah,
like
they
little
want out.
kiosks now. Yeah,
Yeah.
but who knows?
Zach asked, Mark, would you sign an NDA to work Cat GW? No. No, you can't pay me to leave my island and get a day job. That would be not even if I could save the Lorehammer IP or Warhammer IP myself, which I could write better lore. But
Well,
no.
well,
not
I'm
giving
a
up my island.
I'm a whore, so if the price is right, I'll do it.
Jordan will do it. He can be my
They'll
proxy.
do
I'll,
anything for money. Yeah.
yeah, well, when me and Christian dual joint applied, we didn't even get a confirmation email back, and we're like, we got two of us for the price of one of us, and that's not good enough. GW.
No, I got a rejection email.
Oh, so just you, or
Just
no?
me.
We don't want Christian, and then you didn't pass on the Mark. You got the job to me.
You know, I want to make a just opine a little bit on that whole thing too. Is I do wonder why they wouldn't go out and maybe even headhunt a bit of the sort of grassroots Warhammer fandom, and maybe not necessarily you guys, but like just and like other people who are really connected to the fan space. I know there's like quite a few big YouTube channels as well, like these are the people who it's even in like your marketing department, like these are the people who know what people want, right? Like, and they just don't, they seem to be kind of stuck in maybe an old paradigm.
Yeah.
I don't know. They did do that. They headhunted the guy who did do Astartes, and they seem to have allowed or picked up. However, I don't know the details of how the Henry Cavill project came about.
Yeah, but that's Henry Cavill though.
Sure, but
He's a celebrity.
Right, but that's exactly it though. They saw his star power and the fact that he was big on Warhammer that they.
But he's like he's more like a legacy celebrity. He's not like an online celebrity, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just we're the unwashed masses, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I don't blame them. If I listened to Lorehammer, I probably wouldn't offer me a job. Hot take, probably. Yeah, you can go wire a house, Mark, but you're not. First of all, we're not giving you 0 point energy. Stop bringing it up. And we're not letting you run GW. Yeah, that's the way she goes.
You know what though? It's hardly GW that is the only company that does this. It's always like throughout history, the whole concept of the sellout or, you know, art versus money or business, right? Like always you have a balance of an artist's vision versus what will sell and make them money. It's always been in conflict. You know, Games Workshop, Warhammer is far from the only IP to have suffered from this contention.
Hottie, normally I like you, but I think you might have just called us influencers, and that's fucking fighting words. He says, legacy celebrity? You mean like an actual celebrity instead of shiver influencer? Yeah, those are fighting words if you just called us influencers, for sure. On the
I
table.
am not an influencer. I'm just some dumb dude that just wants to talk about Warhammer Fantasy and other stuff he likes to talk
like
about.
piss, man. Just let the man like piss. No, you didn't like it. That was the problem. You were mad at the
I
piss.
didn't like it.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kidding, Hottie. Yeah, man. Wildman, why would GW pay you to work when you already do it for free? It's not paying me. It's collaborating more. Like even when I did the interviews with Rick Priestley, all these guys, they're all retired and they don't work at GW no more, or at least not in the same manner. Like Rick Priestley might do some odd things or whatever it sounds like. Consulting, yeah. But yeah, like they just is like, you would think they would kind of reach out a little bit more and just be like, here, we're doing this kind of, we're just releasing this new model line. You want to talk some lore and push that out? Like, I don't think they really do that, which seems like that would be beneficial. But
I know that I'm surprised because I'm not 100% sure about this, but there are a lot of big like YouTube channels and Star Wars channels who I'm pretty sure they will send, or Disney will send them a whole bunch of product or books and stuff like that to read and to shill on their shows. And but I don't know that GW does that with any of the Warhammer shows, but Star Wars definitely does it with a lot of the Star Wars shows.
Yeah, I know some some websites, they get some early access box sets and stuff, and some companies do, or not companies, but like third-party vendors get some early access stuff. But yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems like there could be more. Is all.
Yeah, I've seen them send like YouTubers. A lot of hobby-based YouTubers get like advanced product or lots of a product to do like certain special projects. So
okay,
it does happen.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I'm just thinking here. Maybe let's jump to a call-in or two for a bit and see what all the listeners have to say. I'll drop a link in the old down below. Yeah, we can just talk about whatever. If you want to come on, share your little hobby journey, that's always fun. If you want to share which episode kind of got your gears going, what episode did we convince you to buy something in? Let us know. Call-ins down below. Till then, let me ask you boys another question. What's one retcon you'd actually support? Let's say they went back and got rid of Primaris Marines. Would we be like, oh, okay, finally, we're back to normal? Or we past it now? Do I just need to get on board?
Man. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, retcons, I wouldn't support anyone that brings characters back. That's for sure. I know lots of people are mentioning like, now that all the Primarchs are coming back, yay, Sanguinius, and like there's a couple of people just sending me paragraphs and paragraphs and emails saying, well, actually, Sanguinius' soul went here and it can show here and blah blah blah, and it's fun and it's all good, but he dead. Sorry.
Yeah, it just cheapens it so much if you bring back dead characters. It cheapens their sacrifice.
Definitely female space marines. Yeah, okay, that's some comments. Yeah. Okay, we got a bunch of people down below here. Let's start going through them. Let's get Hottie first here. Yo.
Hey, welcome back. Can you hear me this time?
Yes,
perfect, man.
Yeah, that's good. I've whipped the headphones out quickly. Yeah, I'm liking Christian's background. Like, it's making him look like an intellectual, but Christian, as is mandatory, also fuck you. But
thank you.
Oh man.
No. To be fair, mate, you do not look anything like I thought you did. Like when you were like,
I get that a lot.
Well, when you were like, I can take a Puma on, I was like, this guy must be like jacked or something, man.
No, he's a family man. But he does wear a vest, and I have a sneaking suspicion he hides weapons underneath the vest.
I'm armed at all times.
But nah, yeah. I've actually enjoyed this episode. Like, even though it's been a departure, it's been nice to see you guys like as people, as opposed to like the hosts of Lorehammer. And just sit and chew the fat, basically. Like it's always nice to get to know you, like a little bit about you. So like when you had, I think whose brother was it? It was, I think it might have been Eric's brother, possibly. Like
It might have been mine.
like in the early days. And you were just talking about memories when you were a kid, like going to the Warhammer shop and him thinking, "What the fuck is this nerd shit?" And like, yeah,
Yeah.
and I love that he ended up on your show and he was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm just happy to be here." Like that was brilliant. Like it's just always nice for you to see you guys like behind the curtain, to like peek behind the curtain, so to speak. But yeah, what made me what you guys got me going out and buying, I say you going out and buying, I've ordered it, I'm still waiting on it because my hobby shop is like, he has so many issues. Like he ordered the Krieg stuff in January and he only just got it like a couple of weeks ago because GW were like, "Oh no, we're fulfilling our own orders, you can get fucked." But yeah, so I ordered, I went and I actually ordered some knights. Like, so I had I bought a knight when I first got back into the hobby years ago. I bought like a load of Black Templars, and then I was like, you know what? I just want that big model because it looks cool. Didn't know anything about it. It was a new thing. I just thought it was a big dreadnought because I hadn't been in the hobby for like 15 years. So I'd obviously missed. I was last played in 5th, so I missed all like the whole knights introduction and stuff. And then you were talking about your knight army and stuff, and you were doing some Lorehammers, some listener lore. I was like, these guys actually sound pretty cool. And I was like, actually, you know what? I'm gonna paint that knight as if he's like got a oath or something to the Black Templars. And then I started collecting Chaos Space Marines because I was like, you know what? Fuck it, it's time. And
It's time to go to chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had enough.
and then I got some war dogs, and I was like, okay, these are actually like badass. They're taking so much stuff out. And then the new Chaos Knights have been announced, and I like sent a message to the independent stores like, get me a Ruinator, I want one. And I was like, and I'm waiting for an Abominant to be because I think they're re-releasing it because it was pulled from their website. Because I watched Broken Lance on Warhammer TV, like where it's the Nurgle and it's like a dad or something. And I remember hearing about like you talking about how the knights like sort of get corrupted, and I was like, I really want a Chaos Knights army. These guys are awesome. Like I just thought they were big mechs, and I was like, actually no, there's like so much behind them that they are. Yeah, that was my first mistake.
Yeah,
So yeah,
these guys sound pretty cool. First mistake.
Yeah,
First mistake.
I've got 6 armies, including AOS and Star Wars Legion, and I was like, I'm gonna draw the line at that, and then like now I'm collecting a Chaos Knights army. I'm like, for fuck's sake, I blame Mark.
I'll take that blame, man. Yeah, knights are so cool, man. Like, there's been a couple cool like old time epic things that they've brought back, and like squats they brought back, and it was so. You know, they brought back Gene Seal cults. They're so. There could be so much more with them. I think they're cool, but there's more to them. You know, they brought back.
I remember the days when Gene Stealers were just like a melee model, and that was it, and they just had a weird sounding name, and I was always like, why have they got such a specific name when all they are is just like a fighting Hormogorn? But yeah, and now like when you watch the Blood Angels thing on Warhammer TV, where it's black and white except for the red, I was like, that is awesome. Like they've ended up at this planet, and the whole planet's just been like slowly subversed. I was like, that is cool.
Yeah. My only gripe against them is I just wish we'd seen other races, but I know they can't really do that. But
yeah, like Tau, I know I always say it, but like I get that Tau are cool and everything, and like the whole thing is like pretty cool. Like, I mean, who doesn't love a good mech? But they're always described as not really being a galactic player, and then you do when I listen to your Minor Xenos things, I'm like, surely some of these guys sound like a much bigger threat than Tau. So how come Tau have got a model but these guys haven't? I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, fix it.
Yeah. Just release models, man. I want to buy my plastic crap.
Okay, so you'll be buying models regardless. GW, you're well in their pocket. That's good. Me too.
Yeah, unfortunately, like literally, I had to ban myself from going to the independent store for a whole month because it was just getting out of control. I was like, and my dad came round and he was like, I thought you'd stop buying Warhammer. And I was like, oh no, they're all the same models from before. Thinking, like when you say to your wife, oh no, it's just a different color or something, and she thinks, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I thought he didn't notice. He was like, Ellis, I counted how many boxes you had last time. I was like, fuck.
That's so funny. Yeah, you're just convincing people you're just repainting your models, but you're not.
It didn't work. But yeah, like I love listening to you guys, and like I say, you guys have actually like supported my mental health in like a weird way. I work from home a lot. I live alone. I don't have a pet. My family live like my parents live in a village, but the rest of my family live far away. And my parents are always away. They're always doing something. And like I can go days without speaking because I'm working from home and stuff, sitting on a computer. And so, like listening to you guys, it feels like I'm having some sort of human contact, and like it's weird, but you keep me sane. I like genuinely, you guys are the most unhinged fuckers, but you keep me sane, and I love it. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for doing this and continuing to do this, because without that sort of steady stream of episodes and stuff, I honestly don't know what I'd have done, because I've said it before when I've called in a couple of years ago. I was in a very dark place, and like it's kept me on an even keel. It's kept me from sort of slipping back. So yeah, thank you guys. I'll always chuck you some money every month. If I could do a one-time donation of like a massive amount, I would. It's just one of those where it's when I can. I want to say thank you.
Just even that thank you's enough, man. I'm almost a little watery-eyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it's crazy, man. Like when we started this, I didn't think that we would have that kind of impact, and I have podcasts of my own that I listen to where it's like, I feel connected to those hosts or whatever, and I get it. You honor me, man. You honor me.
No problem, man. No problem. Anyway, I'll let someone else call in and I'll drop. But thank you, guys.
Thank you.
To the next
Thank
one.
you.
All right, we got Marine Rat 644. What's good, man?
I'm back, guys.
He's back.
Bonus episode. And you
Well,
Yeah,
finally
and this time we
back.
actually get to see your face. Where the last time
Yep.
we didn't get to meet you like that. So good to see you.
Yeah. Camera wasn't working back then.
Fuck it. Well, you're here now. What do you want to tell us?
Female. I want to piss you off, Mark. Female
Oh, no.
space wolves. Female primary space wolves.
Yeah, tell me more. Oh, no. I've decided to go the horny route. If maybe I do that and really accept it, really fully, maybe you guys will not try to troll me.
I had Doom Guy versus like just send him into the warp, just drop him in, just throw him in.
Yeah, him and Caldor Drago can go rampaging through the warp together. They'd make a good team, I think.
Yeah, probably fuck up Corn's place a lot. Probably give Corn a run for his money.
Yeah, man. So do you collect minis and stuff? Have you are you a tabletop guy? How long you been doing 40K?
A year and a half.
Cool.
I've bought minis before, the Adeptus Sisters of Battle, but
Nice.
I gave them to somebody else because I lost interest.
Yeah, once you realize they can't be your girlfriend, you might as well just give those models up. Essentially.
Shit.
Yeah, Sister Battle is sweet though, man. They came out with an update like a year or two ago. I love it. Those like walkers that hold the chicks inside of them. I know lots of people hate them, but I love the female baby carriers.
Aren't those like the Repentia or something, or like the criminals they put in the exposed exosuits?
Oh no, I'm thinking more of the Paladin war suits. I think they're called
Paragon war suits.
Paragon. Yeah.
I'll have to look those up later. I don't know what those are.
I'll pull up the picture right now for everyone. But yeah, they're these like sweet little baby carriers, man. Doodaloo.
Oh yeah, I have seen those.
Yeah.
So kind of
I don't know.
So kind of like Terminator suits for the sisters.
No, more like Centurion suits.
Oh.
Yeah, like power armor you wear, but this you pilot. Like one's there's that difference where one's an extension, one you're you're piloting. So yeah, this is more like
Sure.
Centurion suits, or even like a Tau battle suit would almost be equivalent, maybe the Dread Knight.
Yeah, I'd say more like the Dread Knight because they're wearing power armor inside the suit, right? Like they're
Mhm.
that's a
Power
difference.
armor all the way down.
Yeah, Christian.
I agree.
I don't hate you.
Thank you.
Well, let's
They're one of the
fucking
few.
boot this guy then. Get him out of there. We don't need that kind of. I was
God,
just kidding.
about to say, God damn.
God damn. Oh,
Do you want people to hate Christian?
No, I want people to love him. He's a gem, man. Honestly.
Well, I'm one of them.
Yeah. So you got rid of your sisters, eh? That's unfortunate. What do you
But
do,
this
though?
podcast, it's been great. I started after it ended.
Yeah, what was that like? Did you know it had ended when you started it, or did you start listening and then like eventually looked how many episodes? Or
Yeah, I eventually like, wait a minute, why aren't they uploading? I looked down like, but
Oh.
I didn't listen to the end episode. I just listened throughout the entire thing. And when I got to the last episode, I'm like, wait, they stopped?
Oof.
I'm a bit late.
Yeah, we did everyone dirty. That was dirty. We were going hard and then it just abruptly stopped. And even in the episode, I kind of vaguely recall like doing all this fun stuff and then at the very end being like, well, see you later. We're done. And then having like 30.
Just
Yeah.
gaslighted everybody.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the last words I ever said to you guys was join the Patreon.
Yep.
Yeah, no. It's been cool. It's funny that Lorehammer has had such longevity and people have gotten 7 years ago, a year ago, whatever, recently. Always interesting, man.
Yeah. I don't know what models I should collect next. I'm thinking about buying more, but I don't know yet.
Do some third-party stuff. Just go and buy some war game.
Go to Merlin Miniatures.
No, they sell official stuff, not like third
Okay.
party. But yeah. War game exclusive. I've been eyeballing a bunch of their minis lately. They got some very cool, just every type of everything, man. Alternatives, all types of alternatives.
Yeah, it's been really fun listening to this podcast. It's really entertaining.
Do you have a favorite episode or anything? Or more?
I like the Khan and the Dark Angels thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because I didn't know a lot about the Dark Angels or the White Scars. And the Space Wolves, I got caught up in the memes.
Me too. Made a meme or two myself, but that happens.
But after I listened to the episode, I'm like, they're not space furries anymore.
Yeah, like especially like
true.
Yeah, especially 30K. Like they're the Vikings, you know. Where
like they're Space Wolves are scary.
Yeah.
Don't tell that to 1,000 Suns fanboy.
Well, I think we found your answer. Now you go buy some Space Wolves. You know, don't buy into the meme. Don't believe the meme. Now you have to repent and buy every box.
Am I gonna have to get in a cage match with a 1,000 Souls player?
I think so. That's what tradition dictates. I think you can handle it though.
What about a Dark Angels player?
Yeah, but that one's not to death, you know, so it's a little less serious, you know. There's no ball shots or face shots in that one, so you don't have to be as afraid. Like it's more cordial. Well, I'm glad I could help you collect your next army. We've all determined Space Wolves. Or people are saying Space Pumas could be fun for Christian. Maybe.
Space Pumas.
Yeah.
That's not a crazy idea for a Space Marine chapter.
Hey, wait! You made me onto something.
Get the new Space Wolves army set, and then just make your own Space Pumas chapter. There you go, best of both worlds.
Christian,
Pumas Marines.
Who would win, Christian or a Corn Demon?
Oh man, Christian, because he has something to live for, you know. He's gotta get
Some
home to
people
his family.
think I am a Corn Demon, so
I think he might fall. I think Christian would either fall to Cornish.
I don't think he would fall to Slanesh.
Maybe
Why not?
He's just not the type. I don't think he'd
He's
be.
never done anything pleasurable in his life.
Yeah.
Man, that's sad.
Existence is pain.
Yeah. All right, we got a
Well,
couple other people.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts there? Closing statements.
Curs.
Okay.
And you done it.
That will do it. Yeah, that will do it. Thanks, Marine Rat. Thanks for calling in. We're sure to see more of you. I do see some people, Boba Jackson there, Alphys Primus, Fuzz, but there's a guy named Zach that don't think I've seen his name, so let's get him on. We'll give him a second to get ready, and then surprise, who is it? Welcome to the show.
Hello, check.
Check. We can hear you. What's good?
I know I have no audio. I have bad visuals, so I'm gonna keep with this. I was not expecting to get called in.
Yeah, I see.
Long
that
time.
fresh meat, and I go,
Hell yeah!
hell yeah.
Hey, long time fan, first time calling. But I gotta say, man, I appreciate the podcast, and I appreciate the way that you guys do things. As somebody who pays Christian and Jordan on a different podcast, I like that I get to have this opportunity, because it's not something you guys provide, or at least I should say most other podcasts don't provide. You specifically do provide.
So now you can shit on
Wait, what-
Star Wars
what-
through Lorehammer.
What's
yeah.
your? Are you on our Discord group?
Yes, and if you go back into your very invite-only group, you will find, admittedly, a vulgarly laden review of the animated series of Star Wars Battlefront that, at one point, almost had a year-long hiatus before anybody else participated in that particular group. Let's go ahead and let them figure out what that is.
Okay.
I'm gonna have
I
to
vaguely
go
remember
back
that
and.
post.
do some-
Oh, I have a purple name in both of your Discords, so.
Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm not active in either, but I have some opinions that can be found.
Yeah, I love people like that, where you just drop your opinion, ruin our days with a nasty message, and then move on.
Well, you know what? Man, I've been a listener since before you and Mark even made episode 50.
Wow. Okay.
I
that's
learned
wild.
how to paint models from my stepdad, who did airplanes. And then one day, my very religious mother came back from the mall with a Warhammer 40K set that involved a couple guys in blue and some terrain. And I got really into it.
She didn't call it demonic or like freak out.
Yeah.
She gave absolutely no premise because I was not allowed in the mall, let alone in the store, for me to have witnessed what she was buying. She was doing her own little, purveying over the things, and knowing her, probably talked to the store employees, and they were like, hey, these blue guys are not demonic.
Okay.
Well, this screams great for children. Says the salesman.
The very first model I ever painted, like completely freehand by my own admission, was a Raphael Gripen, which is a type of airplane. And that's how I got introduced into model building. And then again, she came back one day because our local mall had a Games Workshop store. And she came back with this piece that had a bunch of blue guys on the cover and a big terrain piece.
Okay.
It was, dude, I wish I could figure out what the hell she bought. I still haven't found it. I still, to this day, do not know what the hell she bought me. But I know I was gifted this thing that had a piece of, land, which is different than building, individual models and the markers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But land versus models, and that what it did was because I was somebody who always used to build tanks.
Okay,
I liked
yeah.
the terrain.
Yeah, like Christian's a terrain guy too. We've built a couple
See-
boards, and I think he really liked that.
Dude, oh my god, it's so good. I love making buildings. Taking a piece of a wall and figuring out how to set it up so that it doesn't fall over when it is entirely made out of one surface. Beautiful.
What do you do for real life work?
I fix and install fiber optic internet connection.
Nice. So you are doing something a little buildy creative. Well, not creative, buildy with your hands. That's good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I frequently deal with things that are finer than the human hair as a regular basis of my living.
Yeah, nice. Yeah,
So I like building tiny little miniatures, and it's very fun to me.
yeah, man. You know, I've said before I was an electrician, and yeah, that tinkering with the wires, yes, almost the same vibe as playing with bits, like the same satisfaction when you finish it or whatever, man. Yeah.
Mark, I think you have an appreciation for what I do for a living like nobody else could. Because I do that similar. Like, it, you know.
But to another level. Fiber optics, man, you got to be delicate. You know, you can't even look at that shit the wrong way, otherwise you'll break it.
Yeah, but it's all bullshit anyway. It's glass, and it's all about rotation and, you know, straight line versus circles and the whole line, and it's crap. But we're here because of a hobby.
Faking it anyways, you know. Get Starlink and move beyond wires, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and we solved the problem 40 years ago, so like, why is it even a conversation, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, hey, before I get kicked off, I want to say I have a serious thought about the Sons of Malice.
Lay it on me.
And this is actually something you brought up in the last episode in which I commented, in which you commented on, is that I believe the Sons of Malice actually do not fall under the Chaos Unbound banner. Because the Sons of Malice are one of a group who fall under the guise of, well, being betrayed. They worship a god. Well, it happens to be the secret one. It's still the worship of a god. And I think Court's example of, well, you can't be punk if you call yourself punk, applies here.
Yeah.
No, I do, because the very first 40K book I ever read was Labyrinth.
Okay. Yeah, that one's a crazy one.
Yeah. I actually think it should be one of the very first ones somebody reads, because it is a very limited amount of characters while still being, you know, 40K.
Yeah, you get some wild stuff in that book of people Astartes eating each other and just some really like, ooh, yeah. Some grimdark stuff.
Is it not beautiful though? And that whole fighting in silence thing that you get out of, like, you know, out of that secret level episode. It's that. But imagine how fucking concerning that is when that person isn't protecting somebody.
Yeah.
That absolute, well, son of malice. That, hey, I'm gonna fucking eat you. I've been working up a homebrew.
Yeah.
And I've never done it before. But it's about a guardsman. Like some lonely little guardsman who is like not happy with his lot in life, and he kind of turned to chaos and he was allowing himself to fall. And then out of nowhere, these white, completely alabaster cast agents drop down upon him, and he thinks that it's angels here to save him.
But who is it?
It's the Sons of Malice, who only showed up because they know. Because remember that the Sons of Malice are designed to be from a planet that was exterminated when the Great Divide happened. They were abandoned by the Imperium, and heresy themselves destroyed their homeworld. That's why they say, fuck everybody.
Yeah.
So now, one of these Astartes, you know, one of these profitable angels lands at your feet. You're some lowly little human who's always been angry at life and never really liked his lot. He felt he was forced into too many situations, and you're just angry at the world. When it starts falling apart, you're really not that upset about it. I mean, you defend your home because obviously who the fuck doesn't defend their own planet? But then you have this fucking lone thing out of nowhere. Literally, the sky opens up, a drop pod launches, and this alabaster cast knight stands in front of you. He does not utter a word. You hear not a sigh of relief or strength. And then suddenly, at the end of the battle, he picks you up, brings you into his embrace, and you are brought up to his ship. You were brought into a tiny little spot. A little secular room with just you and your savior. The individual removes his mask and then proceeds to consume you alive, kicking and screaming. As he goes, oh, by the way, this is a reward. That's what 40K is about. It's that grim dark. It's that it doesn't matter how nice it is, all the lead up.
Yeah, the happy ending is not going to be found in 40K. Yeah,
it's not supposed to be. Yeah. I will say, and after the 0.5 of Chaos Unbound, I will say I understand now. The Sons of Malice are literally not Chaos Unbound because they're bound because they worship Malice.
Yeah,
Malice himself. Malal himself can be unbound, but those who worship him can't be because they worship. End of it.
But even Malice isn't unbound though, because Malice is literally directly tied to the 4 of the gods and power level and stuff. So like, while he doesn't serve them, like he cannot exist on his own. So
you know what? That's a fair point though, because Malice only exists because the Great Rift happened, and it's that contradiction between, hey, you killed all my people, but like I was fighting you before this happened, but then you still killed all my people anyway, so fuck you.
Everyone knows Miles is Conrad Cruz. Not true, Jax. Well, let's any other thoughts there? Let's move on to the next person otherwise. We
can move on, but if that's the thing I get left on, I'm gonna be pissed.
What do you want to be left on? Give me your best
sentence. I want to be left on the Sons of Malice are actually the single best Astartes chapter. And this is a man who painted his first as Ultramarines and his second as Salamanders.
Okay, that could be your closing statement. You're wrong because Liber Malleus is the best chapter, but whatever.
You know what? My mom bought me a set. The man on the people were blue, so... But also, Salamander Supremacy.
Yeah.
That's what No! Fuck you! Salamander Supremacy!
We'll leave him with that one. I think that's what he wanted, ultimately was the best. All right. We got enough time for probably one more.
He sounds like the Rush Limbaugh of Warhammer.
That's funny. Yo, Jax, I feel like we haven't talked in a hot minute. What's good, man?
Hey.
You're an adult now. Welcome to the show.
I know. I feel so old. Oh.
Yeah. Damn it. You have to start paying taxes now. Less Warhammer money.
I know.
No, you don't.
Sucks.
No, you don't. You don't have to.
Yeah. You don't.
Fuck those crooks.
Fuck those crooks. All right, well, that's fun. Me and Jordan are on the same page of that. We're both going to jail for a long time, but Jax, what's good? What have you liked about the last 100 episodes? We got your Night Lords in there, but beyond that, what'd you enjoy?
Tau, always gotta love them. Dark Angels, I've wasted about $300 on them now. Well, wasted.
30K or 40K era?
40K.
Nice.
Okay. Or so the Deathwing Knights and all those fellas.
Yeah, man, I dropped a bunch of money on those too for the Liber Malleus. They're sweet. Can't wait to get them. Do they have a bunch of cool weapon options in their kit?
They have a whole lot. They have like flails. They have this one
It's
guy
like all
with a
melee
sword
though,
that-
right?
Yeah, all the Deathwing Knights are purely melee.
Yeah. Fun, cool kit. You painting them Dark Angels, or you doing something else with them homebrew?
I'm still working on them. Technically, I haven't put much thought into them. I've been working on actually Vespid in my Tau.
Ooh. Okay. Okay. Well, tell us about your Tau. You got a specific set that you do?
Farsight. He brought me into 40K. I'll be damned if I don't die before I paint him.
Do you have a favorite theory about Farsight's blade, or like if they ever did come out exactly what it was, what do you hope it is?
Necron.
Necron weapon, eh? Yeah, that one's fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one seems very, very reasonable. As soon as you start getting into Demon Blade territory, it gets a little questionable for sure, but still fun.
All the people in the comments are like, Tower overrated. And gotta say, Tower the best addition to 40K, I gotta say.
They're the best, the absolute best. No other Xenos have ever Xenos like the Tau.
Better than Primaris.
Yeah, I don't know. The Tau are fun. They're one of those ones. I think ultimately it's fun to shit on anything, even if you like it. I don't know what that says, but that's what I get joy from.
I gotta say, I came into Lorehammer with all my Night Lord simpingness.
Yeah.
And for better or worse, a lot more people know about Night Lords.
Yes, they
Mostly
do.
for
Yeah.
the worst.
Yeah, you've created your own little meme there. Not many listeners get to create their own little Lorehammer memes, but you've kind of done that for yourself, so that's nice.
I will say this
Yeah, I
for
feel
being a Night Lord's Conrad Curse simp. Guess what? You're still the Alpharius of the Discord.
Damn it.
Yeah, that'll happen. What else do you want to say to us?
I gotta say, I started my Warhammer journey with a video about the Tau. I'm like, oh, this is sick. I wonder what podcasts kind of do Warhammer stuff. And then I found you guys. And for the next like 7, 6, 5, however long years of my life, since your I think
I deeply
20th
apologize.
episode release. Yeah. You
So many hours wasted. Minds rotted.
How old were you?
I
Did
could
we
have been
ruin
like
your youth?
the mayor of my town. I could have been like the president, but instead
You listen to Lorehammer. Fuck. Oh man,
nah,
that's
this has
tragic.
been the best waste of my time I've ever had.
Yeah.
Not even a
that's
waste.
We've joked about you before. We're like, just imagine Jax. He's gonna be like that. He's a 17-year-old kid, and he's probably thinks it's so cool. And we just, that's just funny. You're gonna look back one day and look, that was a weird time in my life. I think.
He has a lot of regrets. Yeah.
Yeah.
No regrets
Yeah.
whatsoever. My only
you're not
regrets is
old
I
enough to have
couldn't preach about Conrad Kurz more. Oh yeah.
Cool. Well, final thought, and then I think we're gonna pretty much close out the show here. Anything else you want to say?
Conrad Kurz is the best. Get a Tau army if you haven't already. And
Farsight specifically.
if you're not already subbed to the Patreon to Lorehammer, what are you doing?
Get a job, subscribe. Thank you. Yeah, cool. Thanks for calling in. Sorry to everyone else in the chat. I know there's a lot of people waiting. But yeah, we have to close her down. I got a couple more quick little things to do before we end the show. It's fun just shooting the shit, guys. Especially doing those battery bust episodes recently, a couple bonus episodes like this. It's been fun just hanging out. But we got to get back to the official stuff soon. Episode 201 is Blood Angels. It's going to be wild. I got some thank yous to say. They are in a random order and of no importance, so we'll go through them. First of all, thanks to all the Patreon members. Without you guys, this show would definitely be a lot harder. Definitely. So every dollar you guys send, it keeps the show alive. We really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. The highest supporting member is UK Matt still, believe it or not. Now, he has taken such a lofty lead that he's now resting on his laurels, which is fine. Good man. He's donated. But that just means somebody else can now take that. He's no longer up in that number, so somebody can beat him. But Matt, UK Matt, you honestly, thanks for every dollar you've given. You're fucking hero, man. Thanks. Let's give a shout out to all our hosts, man. We've had a whole bunch over the years. Christian, Gerald, Jordan, James, Court, Logan. There's some other main guys, we could go Fuzz, Jax, all you cool people too. There's Bobby Jack, love him or hate him. It's just been wild that so many people want to just get involved and be on it. So thanks. Without this, I tried doing some stuff by myself and it's just not the same. Lorehammer, Listen to Lore. I did 10 episodes by myself before I was like, you know what? That's fucking dumb. I need to start getting people on. And then, people like Gerald started showing up and all that kind of fun stuff. So you guys all make it worthwhile. I'm going to give a shout out to the shoulder pad guy for the Liber Malleus. His name is Rupert559 on the Discord, and he runs an Etsy shop called Voidborn Studios. And he messaged me and he's like, yeah, I can make your shoulder pads. And then he fucking made them and he's shipped them out by now. I believe I should be getting them pretty quick. They're really cool, man. So thank you so much to Voidborn Studios on Etsy, Rupert559 on Discord. Really helped me out and did it for free. So just one of those cool little things, man. Shout out to Merlin's Miniatures. They sponsored a couple episodes, but also if you buy minis off them, I get a little cut of any minis that you buy. So, they help the show that way I do a little ad read for them. You go buy some minis off them, which you should be buying. You get them for cheaper. And I get a little cut as well. So that really helps the show. The team of sound editors, specifically, let's say Lupercal and Ursats, you've done a bunch too. But Lupercal, shout out to you, man. I know I gave you a shout out on the last one, I think. But without the sound editors, this is just a pain in the dick. Jordan, you've done a bunch of editing. Gerald, you've done editing for Grimlore. You know how fucking annoying it can be. So thanks that I don't have to do it. Up next, we got IG posts. If you follow our Instagram or Facebook or maybe even TikTok, there's posts. There's daily posts, typically little lore blurbs, and Ursats and Christian make those. I make the odd one, but it's typically Ursats, a little bit of Christian. So if you're ever wondering who's making those, that's who's up to it. Pretty cool. Thank you so much, Ursats, for giving your time and making those.
I only take credit if they were acceptable. Anyone that anyone is criticizing, those were Ursat's posts.
Exactly. Yeah. Is there still Lorehammer Facebook? Yes, there still is. But yeah, those posts are up there. If you ever want to make posts like that, message me. Maybe Ursats would like a week off and you guys could make something. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Next shout out, the Discord lore helpers. They don't do much, but they're there, and that's their point. They're just supposed to kind of be there and be friendly. They're not mods. They're just friendly people and people that I kind of vibe with or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you can kind of represent us to some degree or whatever the fuck that means. But they always are the first to jump on anytime somebody posts some porn or something like that in there and keep the server as relatively clean as we possibly can, which is nice. So I've been on some servers before, man. And we do have an incredibly clean Discord. It's a good group of people on there. And yeah, you always find stupid dick jokes and me saying faggot on there, but there's no smut, there's no one lashing out at people, there's no crazy arguments. And the Discord lore helpers kind of help add to that vibe and just keep things friendly and say hi to people and all that. So thanks to you guys for helping me run that. And I'll save the best for last. Special thanks to my wife, who not only lets me do this, spend time doing this, but also she does a lot of the social media. She does all the posting. She helps me a lot on the business and back end of stuff like marketing and advertising, administration work. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. There is a bonus episode next Monday coming out, or maybe next Tuesday. basically there's a bonus episode between episode 200 and 201. Where I'm just doing some behind the scenes stuff, and you see a little bit more about how much really goes into making a podcast. And yeah, without her kind of helping me do all this, letting me do it, man, yeah, it wouldn't happen. So really, thanks to everyone who's been involved in any way. It's been a hell of a long time doing this, and it's been so much fun. I'm blown away, man. So cool. Do you guys want to say any thanks? Thanks to Jesus, your number one dog.
Yeah, that, and thanks to all the listeners. Yeah, like honestly, it just seems so like dumb to say it, but honestly, like there wouldn't be a podcast without you. So yeah, like it's honestly the truth, though.
Yeah, well, I don't care necessarily if they listen. I just care that they keep it on repeat. That they can put their phone away, turn the volume down. Doesn't matter to me, but
Yeah, make sure you listen through all the ads and don't skip them. No, yeah. Thanks, everyone. Here's to another 200.
Yeah, got to get to 40,000. Final shout outs. Come check out Lorehammer Listener Lore. Like you've heard me say it before. Homebrew lore. Submit it. I might read it. Maybe in the new year I'll get a little more free time and start doing some more of those, but no promises. Can't fucking promise anything. We also got Star Lores. Go check out Star Lores with those guys, Chris and Jordan.
I was waiting for Jordan to read it, and he never reads it.
It's not. I don't even see it on the notes. Sorry.
Okay.
No,
well,
okay.
anyways.
Well, I'll do it. And if you don't like Jordan, so this is the train. If you don't like me and you like Jordan and Christian, you go to Star Lores. And if you don't like Jordan or me, then you leave Star Lores and you go to Pokey Lore. Is that what we're calling it? Yeah. With just podcast. Christian.
Yeah. And another friend of mine that I have on the show there. Yeah.
Cool. And Grimlore. We got Grimlore. Gerald, you doing your show?
Yep. So if y'all like Warhammer 40K and want to listen and want to hear more about its older, less popular cousin, Warhammer Fantasy, that's where we come in. We'll talk about Warhammer Fantasy.
Retarded step sibling.
Age of Sigmar, the edgy or tries to be edgier new sibling, but failed miserably at launch. But they're in their fourth
sibling. Yes.
They're in their fourth edition or something like that, so they must be doing something okay. But I mean, they got some cool stuff too. We'll talk about them as well.
For those wondering, I think Pokey Lore, Christian, maybe just spell that out so you can find that.
POKELORE.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for listening, and we'll get back to it next week. And here's to many, many more episodes of Lorehammer. Adios.